What's up, YouTube? This is Bullseye 8231, and today we're going to be looking at the back hatch not opening on a Toyota 4Runner. As you can see, I am pulling the handle and there is nothing happening, and you can hear the motor kind of make a noise, but the hatch doesn't actually open, so it seems that it is jammed or something. So we are going to be looking at this today, and I'm going to take you step by step in figuring out how to get this fixed. All right, so as you can see, we are now inside of the vehicle, and there are two different things that can happen for the door not being able to work. The first thing could be that it's just a relay, and so there is a relay under the hood that can be changed, or a fuse that can be changed if the motor is not getting power. However, I know my motor is getting power because it's making a noise. It's going, so I know that it's got to either be jammed, or the actuator could be going out, or maybe something got bent, something got stuck in the actual actuator when it was shut. And so we're going to just take this apart and see how to how we can fix it. Maybe it just needs to be reset, or maybe the actuator itself needs to be changed, but we can't do anything until we open it up and take a look at it. So the first thing, if you notice on the back of this door, there is an access panel, but if you pop this access panel off, you're going to see your vapor barrier. We're not going to cut into the vapor barrier. There's really no reason for us to damage that at this point, unless this is like a really bad situation and you're in a pinch and you have to do something like that. You can access some stuff through there, but we're not going to damage the vapor barrier. Instead, we're going to take this whole back plastic piece off. So the first thing I'm going to do is pop this little release out. So that's just another little clip, and you'll see there is a bolt there. So you can either use a Phillips or I think it's a 10 or 12 millimeter. So let me grab a ratchet and we'll go ahead and take that screw out. I'll show you how to pop this back cover off. All right, so once you get this bolt out, it is a 10 millimeter. You're going to grab inside of this access panel, and we're just going to pull. As you can see, it just is coming unclipped. You're just going to work its way down. You can see it's starting to come up. It's going to actually be hanging on the top of the car. So once you get it undone, you're going to lift up. And so, as you can see right here, I've got it out, I've got it pulled back, and now we just got to lift up to get it out. I think I'm going to need two hands in order to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you what we're working with next. All right, so we've got our plastic piece removed. This is the top shelf where this is hanging. And so you also want to make sure your window is in the upright position. This is the same way you will also access the motor if your rear window motor goes out. And so this is just how to dismantle the rear door panel so that you can access all of the different controls and those kinds of things that are in the back door. So this is the waterproofing or weather moisture barrier that I was referring to. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down here and we're just going to kind of peel it up. As you can see, this black stuff is almost kind of like tar. It usually sticks right back down when you remove a door panel. So what we're going to do is just peel this up, and just peel it up in a way to where we can just push it back down on the actual door panel itself before we put it back together. So your motor is going to be inside of here. So the first thing we're going to do is on the left here, you can see a smaller piece of plastic, which is right here. This is going to be removed. So remove this, and inside of that, let's see if we can get a little closer, you'll be able to see inside of this plastic piece is going to be a lever. And so we've got to get this plastic piece off. So just kind of gets stuck in there. So it lifts off. And you can see this lever. All right, so there's a lever on the top, and there is a lever on the bottom. So we're actually going to pull both of those levers at the same time. Let's see if I can get this piece out of here. There we go. All right, so we're going to push this down here and pull this lever at the same time, and that's actually going to release the door. As you can see, the door just released. So again, go through that, and my door actually just reset. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull the bottom up and the top and push. Okay. And as you can see, the door has opened. All right, so it looks like it's gonna be a problem with the actuator. So the first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and remove this plastic piece. All this does is snap on. And as you can see, this is the actual actuator here. So if I engage the actuator, it actually works. But then if I try to open the door now that the actuator is engaged, it just makes that grinding noise that we heard before. And the only way to get it to release is to reach inside of the door here and release it again manually. So what I assume is going on is there's something that got out of line. So this piece is supposed to move and engage when you open and close the door. I believe maybe there's some kind of catch that this is not hitting in order to make the lock work in both directions. So I'm going to try to disassemble the actuator and see if there's something that I can maybe fix inside of the actuator without having to buy another one. If the actuator is failing and continues to fail, the replacement would be a brand new actuator, but I'm going to see if I can take it apart and maybe fix it. All right, so you got the 3 10mm bolts on the bottom, and then you have one more here on the underneath, which holds on a bracket. And then this whole actuator is loose. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna slide this actuator out to see if I can see what is going on with it. There's one more clip here you're gonna have to release. I'm gonna have to get a screwdriver to do that. So you see right here, there's a little clip, and we're gonna push that in, and that is gonna allow us to actually get this whole actuator out and see if we can see what's going on with it. So I'm gonna fish this out and then kind of show you what I find. All right, so I have found the issue with the actuator. So if you look right in here, there is a round part that is on this actual bottom lever. And you can see it has a lip right here, and you can even see where it's worn, where it's supposed to be pushing this lever. And so as you can see, I just released it because I pushed the lever. Well, when the vehicle latches, which I'll show you, it's supposed to latch and suck it in, which it does. And then when the button is pushed on the top, this lever here is this little round piece is supposed to push this lip and open the gate, which is what I am doing manually, where I am pushing this. So somehow this has gotten bent and it is not making contact with this anymore. So I'm gonna see if I can maybe bend this lever back into the actuator again. And if so, it should start working properly, opening and closing the hatch when I try to push the button. So let's see what happens. All right, so I'm gonna try to film this. So I was actually able to bend that brass back into place. And so it's pretty light duty. It's not heavy duty metal. I think it may even be brass, but I was able to bend it so that it is now making contact again. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to push the lever. You see how it made contact and it opened the latch. And so before it was not engaging at all. So that's when it closes. And then when you open with the latch, it's gonna pop open. So it is now hitting the lever enough now, and it is opening the hatch. Now, I don't know how long this is going to last, this fix. Obviously, if your actuator wasn't moving at all, you would need to replace the entire actuator, but you'll do the same exact thing, other than you will have to take this wire out and unplug the actuator here and feed this whole wire out, and then feed the new one in, plug it in here. The plug just has a quick release on it, just like any other standard plug in the vehicle. But now what I'm gonna do is put it back together and see if it still works. All right, so you're gonna reinstall and tighten down your 4 10mm bolts. And don't forget to reconnect this wire hanger right here into that plastic cover of the actuator. And then we're gonna replace the rear actuator cover there. All right, so now that I've got my plastic cover back on with the 3 10mm bolts and this bolt tightened, before we take everything and put it all back, I wanna make sure that it's going to work. So put it down. Okay, so it closes fine. And it looks like it's working again. Yeah, so it was actually a bent control arm or mechanical arm here. This arm right here was what was bent. And so now that it is now making contact once again with the actuator, it seems that it is working. If you cannot get it to make contact once again with the actuator, you will have to change the entirety of the actuator, which will be the same steps that I just showed you, minus or plus. The only thing I didn't do was take this wire out. So you would unplug this wire here and feed this wire back through, and the whole actuator would actually come out. So other than that, you can just change your actuator. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and oil this real good, make sure that all looks good, and then I'm going to put the plastic moisture barrier back on, and then I will show you kind of how to put the rear cover on once again while being outside of the vehicle instead of having to get inside of the vehicle again. All right, so I've got the moisture barrier back in place. The sticky stuff that held the plastic on didn't work too well, so I had to put some tape on there to hold it in place, but I got it all sealed back up so that no moisture can be getting into the vehicle. And then I've got our plastic piece, and what I've done is I've just hung it. You kind of need two hands to do this, but you hang it right here and push down. You make sure you get it in to the frame, and then you're just going to push up like so and snap in all of the pins. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that and make sure it gets all sealed, and then I'll put my bolt back in on the other side. All right, so once you get the plastic cover snapped back in, you can finish tightening your, or put in your 12mm or Phillips bolt. So I got that. If you don't remember, the triangular shape goes down toward the bottom of the door. And then I'm going to take our clip and put the clip back in. Oop, drop the clip. But you snap the clip back in, and you're also going to snap this cover back in place. So that way it is once again sealed. So I'm gonna go ahead and snap these in. There's that one, and I'm gonna snap this other one in, and we'll make sure the door works once again. All right, so we got all the clips back in. We've got everything tied back in. We're gonna try the door one more time, make sure that everything is working properly. So it's shut and it's open, and it looks like it is working. So I was able to fix this door without changing the actual actuator. So this might be something you can do in order to fix your rear hatch. But I hope this video is helpful. Feel free to comment if you have any questions. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more how-to videos on the Toyota 4Runner. Thanks for watching.